What up, everybody? It's Chris Reynolds for Wisdom Wednesday. Man, I'm just a little blown away today. I actually just got finished with a listing appointment with a couple of our team members for the All-Pro team, Lindsay and Tabby. And I got to tell you, we get to do these often, and it's such a fun experience because you get to be a part of life change and new directions and resonate with memories that are made, and every once in a while you get to be a part of somebody's story that maybe you knew. And I just left an appointment with somebody that I've known for a good bit of my life, and this young lady, she has just really had a roller coaster of a life. In fact, a lot of lack of integrity from other people has really just taken a toll on her life. And I tell you this to tell you, I walk away every time I talk to her and I see her so encouraged that that she has a perspective of God that is unlike a lot of people that I come in contact with. In fact, she is entitled to just sadness, entitled to anger, and so many other things because of the cards that have been dealt in her life. But you know what? She wakes up every morning and chooses joy. She chooses to triumph in her tribulation. And I believe it's because she has this perspective that I think could change the game for all of us. See, there's so many times that we choose to look at God as though he's this cosmic Coke machine, right? We put our quarter in, or we send up our prayer and we're like, God, I need this. And if you produce this, then I will praise you. And that's not really a realistic view of a relationship with the Lord. And she has this understanding that I think we all should have, and that is this, that God owes us nothing else. If God never shows up any other time in our life, if God never moves mightily any other time in our life, if God never does anything else for us, what he has done in the past is enough through his Son. Because there's nobody that has ever given their life for you and I. And God chose to give his Son for you and I so that no matter what our circumstances bring, that we could find joy because we were chosen. And I want to challenge you today on this Wisdom Wednesday by asking you this question: was Christ dying on a cross for you enough? Do we live a life as though God has given us everything that we could possibly need by sending his Son to die on a cross for us? Are we content to live in that blessing? Because here's what's amazing about God, is even though he's given us and owes us nothing, he's given us everything that could possibly be given to us, he still chooses to provide on a daily basis for you and I. He created us in his image. What kind of change would happen in our life if we lived in such a way where people will realize that we understood that Christ dying on a cross was enough for us to find that joy no matter what's happening? And I don't know about you, but that just challenged me today. Seeing somebody who has every reason, right, to be upset with the cards that have been dealt, all she could do was praise her Heavenly Father. And as we talked about, even when I was a kid running around this particular piece of property, and all of the sadness that has maybe taken place in between that moment and now, how there were still moments where God's provision was enough and where God was enough. And so I just want to ask you today, man, can you take a moment and just thank God for what he has done? Stop asking him for more. Stop asking him, not that he won't provide. He says he will. In fact, if you ask, and according to his will, he does continue to provide. But there's a healthy perspective to stop and go, you know what, Lord? If you did nothing else, if I never heard from you again, if you never showed up in my life again, if you were not a part of the big pieces in my life, or even if the next season is going to be a season of hardship, I will never stop praising you because of what you've done for me. Choosing me, finding worth in me, and sending your son to die on a cross is enough for me. You don't have to do anything else. Because without that, I would not have life or have it to the fullest. Imagine if we all were to take on the perspective of his daughter that I just came in contact with. How different would our world be? Our individual, little, small, contained world, and the difference that we would make and the change that we would see. Because I think you and I are called, especially if we're believers, to help bring others back to that beautiful love story of him sending his son to die. And on top of that, live as though that was enough. I don't know about you, but I want to live every moment of my life knowing that that was enough, that there's nothing this world could offer me that would change that perspective. And I hope that you can resonate with that with me today, and that will bless you today and challenge you and push you into a moment of going, you know what, God, I'm going to stop with all the requests. I'm going to stop treating you like a genie in the bottle, and I'm just going to praise you in this moment. Thank you for sending your son for me. That's why I love my job, because my name tag says realtor. But when he looks down, he sees child. And it ain't about a transaction. It ain't about selling a house. But it's about experiencing that home with somebody. And resonating and connecting and being challenged, sharpening each other to the perspective of God's already given us everything that we could ever desire, even when we weren't worth it, even though we don't deserve it. He still gave it to us. That is the love that is greater than every other love. And it challenged me, and so I hope it challenges you today.